Good morning. With all that's been happening across our world, it's such a pleasure to be able to be here and share some thoughts with you all about my journey at Westminster Presbyterian, because it really has meant so much to me. I think we've all lamented the things we've lost during the pandemic, but I think we've also all taken comfort in discovering things for which to be grateful. For me, and for my kids, Sloan and Rhett, I know we're proud to say that Westminster is certainly one of the biggest reasons why we've been able to experience our share of gratitude over the past year and a half. We started attending church here in the fall of 2019, which on one hand seems like just yesterday, but on the other, with everything that's happened, it seems like forever ago. What's clear though, and what many of you may not know, is that it was a time when the three of us were going through a very difficult transition in our lives, and I think we were really hoping for a fresh start and a renewed sense of community and belonging. Not to mention, of course, a means for spiritual growth and nurturing. Fortunately, we found all of that and more with those of you here at Westminster. From our very first visit, everyone was so kind and welcoming, and it quickly became apparent that we felt right at home here. So with that in mind, I enthusiastically started the process of becoming a member, and eventually met with Pastor Kate to discuss the path forward. This was almost exactly a year ago, so we met over coffee, in person, without masks. It's weird how almost decadent that seems to think about now. But at one point, she asked me what the church could do to help me, and I responded by shamelessly plagiarizing former President Kennedy and saying that for me, it wasn't about what the church could do for me, but what I could do for the church. At that time, I wanted to do whatever was in my power to give back to the people whom I felt had already done so much for me, and more importantly, for my kids. Well, exactly 1 month later, the pandemic was in full force, and things got really weird really fast, as you all know. There was an awful lot going through my mind, but one of the most enduring thoughts I had was how blessed I felt, not only to have found Westminster at all, but to have found it when we did, ahead of everything shutting down and us becoming more isolated from the world around us. Being part of WPC, even in virtual or socially distant settings, was a real saving grace for our family during such a tumultuous time. And with that in mind, it also strengthened my resolve to fulfill my promise to Pastor Kate and give back through serving in whatever ways that I could, regardless of how big or small. One example, just in terms of my time and admittedly limited talent, was agreeing to be a liturgist last fall. Pastor Kate asked me if I wouldn't mind doing it, and I said that's definitely something I could do. Some of you may know that I went to school at Texas A&M, which means two things. Number one, I am semi-literate, and number two, I don't mind making a fool of myself in front of a large group of people. So being a liturgist was definitely for me, and it was certainly a privilege to share God's word with all of you during that time. I was also extremely honored to be asked to join the Finance Committee last fall, and it means so much to have an impact on how the church is able to operate from that standpoint on a day-to-day and year-to-year basis. Pledge cards you do this Sunday, by the way, just saying. Finally, I have personally gotten so much satisfaction out of volunteering at the mobile food pantry each month to serve our community in that way, at a time when I know people really need the help along those lines. It shows every month with the volume of food coming off the truck, the line of cars that comes through, and the smiles that appear on people's faces. It's been so rewarding, and I feel so enriched to be involved in these ways and others. And I also draw inspiration from seeing so many of you who serve Westminster in similar ways. In my mind, it's really indicative of what makes this place so special and sets Westminster apart. People here really stick together and look out for one another in ways that are as powerful as they are unique. Personally, I know my kids and I have been incredibly humbled by the love and support shown toward us by each of you. There's nothing inherently special in that regard about Sloan, Rhett, and me as individuals, because you all would do that for anyone. But I think what is special about our story reflects about you and about this place. That a family of three could wander in by chance, magically find a home here, and be embraced and transformed so completely over such a short period of time, most of which occurred when we couldn't even see most of you in person. That is a real testament in my mind to the spirit of Westminster and the commitment of the people of this congregation. And it just means so much. So with that in mind, I'll end my remarks here by reiterating what I touched on at the beginning, which is to express my profound gratitude for all that you do and all that Westminster stands for, and to say that it sincerely has made a difference in our lives and compels us to genuinely want to contribute in our own way to nurture that culture of selfless service. I hope that over time we are able to help bring as many blessings to Westminster as you all have graciously provided for us. God bless you all, and we are really looking forward to sharing a great year with you. Thank you.